We had outside a little bit a talk about politics, and that also kind of shows to me kind of how sensitive the whole situation is for all of us, and how difficult it is to contain everything which is happening. So the theme of this day is stepping back.
No, it's not.
What was it?
Passing through.
Oh, passing through. Sorry. When you look at passing through, what came to my mind is also stepping backwards, making a movement backwards, which is so often happening when we pass through things. So passing through things, especially when things are more difficult to move through, then often inward we make kind of a movement backwards. We disentangle. It's too difficult. I don't know how to entangle with this. And this disentanglement, when we got a fright or something is happening which is in the moment horrible, or something is happening which is really shocking, or everything goes wrong, it's kind of this stepping back, which helps to pass through, is something which basically is quite helpful. It's a natural reaction to things. The disentanglement which is there. This disentanglement, the stepping back, is basically creating space to pass through. I try to kind of give some examples for that, to make it more clear. When things are happening which are very emotional, highly emotional or painful, or are difficult to contain, what often happens is that we kind of find ourselves lost in emotion. We get very deeply entangled and we lose ourselves. And in losing ourselves, that means is that we become, basically what's happening is that we move in more and more a tunnel vision. We only see what's happening in that moment as the truth, the reality. This is how it is. This is how it will be forever. This will never change. There is no possibility to change. And in this we lose a lot of our own resources to deal with the situation. We're not able to contain it anymore, and we want to get rid of the situation as quickly as possible. This is especially when there is a lot of fear connected with it. When we move into fears. So most of us, when there is fear, we kind of don't like the emotion. It's an emotion we want to get rid of. Fear is very uncomfortable. So the more we become into a fear, the more we start to fight the fear. We're not able to step back anymore. And then it becomes almost impossible to move through the fear. We get stuck in it. There is no space inside ourselves to contain the fear anymore. So whatever is the cause of the fear, and our mind is very, very clever to find causes for fear. Whatever is the cause of the fear, we need to get rid of. And our mind is really very clever to find causes, because it needs to find causes, because when we are in fear, we lose control. So the mind is programmed to bring control back. And when you find the cause, when you can say, okay, this fear is coming forward because of the dripping of the water. If I close the tap, the problem will be solved. So if this is the cause of the fear, and we close the tap, and the fear is gone, it's beautiful. But basically it's not a real problem, because in a short period there will be another cause of the fear. But at least we have, at the moment that we close the tap and the fear is gone, we have a time space in which we have the opportunity to step back and to move through. So moving through something, basically when you look to it, is to go all the way. That means is to allow whatever feeling, whatever thought, whatever emotion, whatever life is bringing you as an experience, the ability to move through it. To let it do its thing. That doesn't mean that necessarily we have to give form to it. That's something else. So if you're very angry and you move through your anger, you allow your anger to be there. Doesn't mean that immediately you have to act with anger. This is something else. It's allowing what's there inside yourself, around yourself, to be what it is right now. And allowing it what it is to be right now, in moving through, we need a container, we need space. So when you look to this container, to this space aspect, that means that if there is a space, we can look at it, we can allow it, but we don't lose ourselves in it. So it's much more safe to move through things, and we're able to learn. We're able to learn, especially when we step back as well, and we are conscious of what's happening. We're aware of what's happening. We see how we are reacting ourselves on whatever the world is bringing forward as a situation. We can learn from whatever is happening in how the reaction inside ourselves is on it. It tells us something about ourselves. So it's not necessary that in whatever situation which is coming forward, we lose our freedom. We are all built in a unique way, with a unique mind, a unique heart. And in this way, we relate to every situation in life in a unique way. And a big part of our freedom is to react on whatever life is bringing us in our own individual way. To be yourself, to be natural. To move according what for you is the deepest truth at that moment. Freedom is also to have your own voice. To express in your own way. To give form in your own way. So when we're really moving through something, it always kind of moves into freedom. It's a process. This is personal, but this is also a process the whole world is moving through. And it doesn't mean that it's always easy and it's always not entangled. Because on the way of moving through life, on the way of moving through things, we meet things which we get entangled in. What?
Entangled. Another word to explain.
Entangled, where we kind of get hooked into. And so what's happening when we get hooked into something is that we don't really have the freedom to move on. We get into a fight, an inner fight, an outer fight.
Mr. Berge. Mr. Bart.
And then what's so important when we get entangled is the ability to step back. Say, okay, right now I'm in a fight with myself. I step back. That doesn't mean that the fight is over, but in stepping back, in moving through, there is more space created. So the meditation we're going to do is about moving through and stepping back. Disentanglement. Try to let go of the hooks. Move back into freedom. Especially in areas where we lose our freedom. So let me explain the meditation. Or you want to add something? No? So we start with connecting with the ID. The ID is the point around 30 centimeters above your head. And with light. And just let the light move wherever you feel there is a need for the light to move to. This can be inside yourself, around yourself, maybe outwards, wherever the light needs to move, just let it move. And then I like you to move down to a point which is in between the brows. Just here, where the Indians put this red dot sometimes. And I like you to kind of try to move a little bit into this area and connect either with peace or silence or stillness. And just stay some time there, if you can connect with one of those feelings. Then I like you to make a movement downwards to the heart. And again, I like you to connect with stillness, silence, peace. And in this, what you can do, if you connect to the heart and all the feelings which are there, the love, try to make inside yourself a little bit of movement backwards to create more space in making this connection with peace, love, silence, stillness. Then from the heart, I like you to move to the feet. Yeah. Just.
You mean to allow feelings to be?
Yeah. So basically what you do is that you kind of, you lean back in the heart and you can just kind of literally make a movement a little bit behind yourself, kind of observing the whole heart area. And then you try to find a place which is always there with an atmosphere of love. You can help yourself a little bit by thinking about your son or dog or husband maybe, you never know.
Might happen.
It might happen. And just attune to the feeling and let it just be and watch, observe the feeling and just let it kind of rest yourself in the feeling. It will create space. Then we move to the feet. And then I like you to just be aware of how your feet are touching the ground and the whole communication between the earth and your feet. And just let yourself sink into that, and then there will be a little bit of music. Okay? Yeah. ID. Light. Wherever the light needs to go, let it go. Then we move to the Anya. We go inside and still, silence, stillness, peacefulness. One of those aspects. Then we move to the heart. And we move inside the heart a little bit. We basically lean back inside the heart. And then silence, stillness, peace, love, whatever comes forward with the heart. And then we move down to the feet and to the connection between the feet and the earth, and whatever moves forward as an experience or whatever, just try to give it the freedom to just move. It's not what you are, it's an experience.